Hi everyone, so welcome to filename.py. So in this session, we'll be discussing decorators in Python. So you might have seen or you might have heard from somewhere else, decorators are kind of things which are used to modify the behavior of a function without changing the function itself. So without changing the function itself means like without touching the code or without changing anything. So we just changing the behavior of that function only. So how that is possible and why? So I'm gonna answer the second question first. Why? Why do we need these things? So let's say some applications of these decorators first. So the first thing is authentication. So when it comes to authentication, let's say we have a authentication things separately. So we need to uh, add authentication for, or we need to apply authentication for all the functions we have or some of the functions we have. So in this scenario, we'll be changing the behavior of that function by applying an authentication, additional authentication things to that function. Like without giving authentication decorators, we can easily access, easily call that function. But if we are giving an authentication wrap up over that function, it will be asking for the authentication. So that's how we'll discuss that later. But that's one of the application. And secondly, we can say logging purpose. So you might have seen logs and all, when we have a program. So when one function got triggered, we can see in logs that this function got triggered first and it started, and this took this much time and this got finished. Some kind of logs we can see. This is useful for debugging and all. So in this scenario, it is useful for logging purpose. So we can create logging decorators. Another thing, input validation. So we'll be taking inputs for all our functions, right? But currently, if we wanted to validate all the inputs to every functions, we can create a common decorators or decorators which validate all the inputs. So that's how we can approach decorators. And another thing is time measuring, time measurement. We just need to know, or we just need to log the time taken by a function to complete the execution. So that's how we have a lot of applications for uh, decorators. So in this video, we'll be discussing the logging decorators. So let me take you to a small program. So as you can see in my screen, this is a small program, a small arithmetic program which contains four functions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So if I'm running this, we'll be getting, yeah, we just got the results of these functions. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a logging decorator for this program. So if I'm for this in this scenario, what if I need to track all the when a function got triggered, when it started, when it ended. So if I wanted to know that, I have to add print statement in between, right? I have to add print, like here, that function got triggered, called, and started. And after calling that statement, I can add a print statement like it got finished. Somehow I can write for every functions, because even though that is not efficient way, right? So for that, we're going to introduce our logging decorators for this. So I know that you have some doubts, but let's first finish off this the coding part, and you'll be clear every logic and what is the use and how it is implemented. Everything you'll be clear. So first, I'm gonna create a function log decorators. Okay. So which means this function will be taking a function as an argument. So in previously when we discuss about functions, it will be taking some numbers, strings, or other data types, right? But in this case, one of the important and one of the main differences, and one of the like, when we introduce a decorator, we can say like it is a function which take function itself as an argument. So that's how we can describe decorators. So I'm taking uh, a function. So whichever function is called, I'll be taking into this decorators, and I'm gonna make a wrapper function for this function. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up for to change the behavior. So anyway, I'll be getting some arguments, right? So depending upon the different functions, there'll be variable number of arguments. So that's how it will be there. So I need to generalize it using my code. So I'm gonna use star args for a variable number of arguments. If you are not familiar with star args and star keyword arguments, I think you should go through this. It's nothing but it's just if we are not sure about the number of values are coming, and if there are a variable number of arguments are coming every time, so it's better to use like for positional arguments, we'll be using star args, and for keyword arguments we'll be using double star keyword args. Okay, so we have taken the arguments to our wrapper function. So now it is we are just printing a log, like calling the function. Okay. Function dot name. So whichever the function will be taking its name. Okay. So with arguments, so we know the arguments are star args, oh, we need the result of our function. We are not sure about which function will be called every time. So we have taken the function into this func name, and we'll be passing those arguments to our wrapper function, and after that we'll be displaying the function name, which function got called at that time, with arguments, args, and arguments. Now we need to call our exact function. So we have four function, and we need the result from there, right? So we'll be calling the function from here. So function with our arguments, whatever we got it from there. Okay, now we got our result for our function. Now we just logging the result of our function. Function return the result as result. Return result. Okay, we need to return the result using our wrapper function, and finally we'll be returning our wrapper function. So one more thing to do. So our decorator is created, and one more thing to do is we have to define all the created function. We have four functions, right? We need to apply these decorators to every functions. For that, I just need to apply like this. I'm using at and just give the decorator name. Okay, so I just applied only for addition only. Let's see what happened after applying the decorators. Okay, calling function add with arguments 3 4 function return the result as 7. Yeah, so we got the results and we got the logs in our terminal. So I'm gonna apply to all the functions that I have. So whatever the function I called every time, so depending upon the function it got triggered in logs, it is showing the function name and the arguments and the result. So that's how this logging decorators are working. So if you are interested, I'll be creating the videos for authentication and all other things. So to understand the logic and the implementation, it is more than enough. So hope you are understood, and if you have any queries, just ping me in the comment box. Okay, thank you.